Hey everybody. Welcome to episode 36 of MAME Politics. Thank you for joining me today. If you tuned in right at the beginning, having some audio difficulties, so I wasn't able to talk. But thank you for sticking around and bearing with me for a little bit. Today is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode of MAME Politics because I have to be somewhere at 2 o'clock. So it probably won't be going for more than a half an hour today. Well, I mostly just wanted to interact with you guys in the chat. So I'm going to head over there right now. Say hello. Hey. South of the border smoker, how's it going? You're asking, am I watching the Central Command briefing? No, I'm not. We seized Iranian weapons. No, I didn't see that. Hey, Terra Toddler. Hey, John. How's it going? There's sound now, right? Good. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes on YouTube, if I start a stream and then I hit stop from my end, it doesn't start a new stream. It just will include my fuck up at the beginning as part of my main stream, even if I stop it and restart it. So I got to remember that for next time. So if I'm doing anything embarrassing at the beginning of the stream, I can't just stop it and restart it to hide that from you guys. You'll see it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to run in less than a half an hour, unfortunately. But while you guys are here in the chat with me, gonna listen to some badass FM synth music right now from SEGA. This game is called Crackdown. It's from 1989. It's a strange little game. It looks almost like it's a strategy game, like almost like Syndicate, like a point-and-click strategy game, kind of in that genre. But it's not. It's more like an action game. So yeah, I'm just gonna play through this one a little bit while you guys have questions for me or want to bring topics up in the chat. So, here we go. I'm going to play a little bit of Crackdown. It's a two-player simultaneous game where you can move in different places of the map, which is pretty interesting. There are not too many games made like this for the arcade. Another one that I can think of is called... I think it's called Alien Syndrome or Alien Storm. It's another game made by SEGA. I want to say SEGA. I don't even know if Gauntlet... I think maybe Gauntlet actually is set up in the same way. I can't remember. Oh no, I ran out of ammo already? Jesus Christ. For a game made in 1981, it's kind of interesting. It feels more like a game that might have come out later. You can scale walls like this. You can do some like stealth things like that. Hide from people. Guess it's one-hit kills too. What are Ed Opperman's audio issues, Bird Worldist? I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I think most people have audio issues. Boom. I died already. Damn, you run into ammo really fast in this game. What? Set the time bombs. Where do I set the time bombs? Oh, weird. Okay. This is set the time bombs. So you're basically like a terrorist or something in this game. You're a freedom fighter. Damn, dude. Yeah, the Assange Dana Rohrabacher pardon news is interesting. We already knew that Dana Rohrabacher met privately with Julian Assange, which is really weird. He's an interesting character. He actually is the only one to have grilled Liz Wall when she came and testified in front of Congress. And he also kind of grilled Victoria Nuland. So I was under the impression that he was smart and savvy guy. So I could see why Assange met with him privately in the embassy. But the more I looked into him, the more I realized he was just a kind of like a broken clock effect. Like, he's really dumb and bad on a lot of other issues, but he just happens to be right in terms of the Russia Cold War 2.0 stuff. So yeah, I don't really know what to make of that story. That one's interesting. It seems like it's probably not true. And it also seems the story itself will feed into the conspiracy mindset of believing that Julian Assange is secretly being laundered by the Trump administration. That was something that QAnon was heavily broadcasting, but also not just QAnon, other generic right-wing figures in the alt-right, new right circuit like Scott Adams and Mike Cernovich are also pushing this same narrative that when Julian Assange got sent to Belmarsh, that it was actually Trump doing him a favor and secretly whisking him away to protect him, because Assange was the key to, I guess, exonerating Trump from the Russiagate stuff or whatever. So that's partly why the right is not blaming Trump, or why they're not upset at Trump. Like, the right who claims to support Julian Assange and that likes him, that's why they're not going after Trump, because they've sort of been conditioned to believe that even though Assange is now in jail, that whatever the U.S. is going to do with him is going to be secretly good. That's the weird narrative that's sort of been perpetuated. So I could see this new news story about Assange possibly, being offered a pardon deal from Trump feeding into that same narrative. So I would say, so a lot of people are looking at this news story right now as, oh, this looks really bad for Trump, that he tried to do this. I think if it's a true story or not, it actually makes Trump look good, and it feeds into that sort of pro-Trump conspiracy energy, that Trump actually secretly is a good guy. He just needs to, not completely disclose that. Like, he's helping Julian Assange in secret, but not in public because it's too politically risky. It feels, it essentially is more 4D, 8D chess kind of thinking. Yeah. I don't know. The whole thing is just so convoluted and weird. I don't know. I don't know how much more I can comment on that. Oh, that's weird that today's episode says Rampage. Does it show up for you guys also like that? On my end, I'm seeing that today says episode 35 Rampage. That's strange, because today is actually episode 36, where I'm playing two games. One of them is called Crackdown 1989. Another one is a John Gold request of Zaxxon, a very, very hard, I guess you could call it 2.5D shooter. I think it was actually one of the first ever made, one of the first isometric games ever made where you can like go up and down to simulate depth or 3D effects. So I'm already going to get off Crackdown now because don't have that much time, and I want to fit in two games for you guys today. I promised John I would play this. Does it start with a Z, John? Or is it an X? I forget. There it is. Great. Here we go. Hey, Beppo. How's it going? Hey, Worldist, hey, Persona Management. Thanks for joining me today. It looks like whoever our troll brigade was missed out on the announcement for this one. No downvotes yet. Wow, I'm surprised. Or maybe they've gotten bored. Oh no, there's no sound on here, is there? We're not getting any sound? Oh no. I guess I'm not getting any sound on Zaxxon. Sorry about that, guys. Damn, this game is so hard. Okay, so I forget exactly what the controls are. So up and down seems like it takes you... Okay. Wow. All right. Having no sound doesn't help. Oh, cool. So if you go down to the ground, you can shoot the things on the ground. I see. Interesting. That's cool. So sort of being on the ground, I guess, helps you, and then it also hurts you because they put obstacles on the ground. Oh wow. So what was that I just hit? I don't even know. Looks like some kind of barrier. Oh, it's some kind of barrier. Okay. Shit. Damn, this game is hard. Shit. I don't know how I got it. Oh, actually, I do remember. My friend Brian Wright, for some reason, had a control panel for this original arcade game that he gave to me at a garage sale he was having. He was trying to sell it, and he's just like, yeah, you can have this. And I was like, oh, dude, really? So I took it, and I don't even remember what I did with it, but it's like a fully intact Zaxxon control panel, like steel, like on a piece of steel or metal. Maybe it's aluminum, I don't know, with the graphics all fully printed on it and stuff. This game is goddamn hard, John. You asked me to play a super hard game. Adam and I had a fight over using Ryan Dawson's work. Who's Adam? Not doing too well, Roberto, using Ryan Dawson's work. I don't know who are you talking about? Adams Fitzgerald, that guy that we were both friends with on Facebook. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's no reason. I mean, you don't need to. I completely understand why you wouldn't want to use any of his work. It's totally understandable. But I don't know why you guys getting in fights over it. I mean, that's already a line that you have, you know. Or is he? Are you guys commenting on each other's posts and getting into arguments? Like, what's going on? Hey Isabel, how's it going? Isabel, are you in the area where Identity Theft is playing a live show soon? Are you near that area? I mean, all this talk about, you know, potential racism or anything like that aside, um, the only real interaction I've had with him was some people started sending me things where he was shit talking about me um, in a couple podcast appearances, and it was pretty clear to me he actually had never seen a very heavy agenda. And he made a very funny claim that I thought was pretty amusing. He said, literally, this is what Ryan Dawson said about me, that he could run circles around me about the Kagans. That's what he said. Um, I've seen very little work from him about the Kagan family, so I'm not sure what he means. Um, I'm not the primary expert on the Kagans. I'm sure, uh, you know, that would. There's someone else out there. I think like Jim Loeb. There's other people who know more about the Kagans than I do. Um, yeah, I mean, Terra Toddler. If you want to delve into that stuff, just realize you're gonna have to look past a lot of the far right social commentary and stuff like that. And it's really difficult for me to look past. Um, and I also find it just seems really easy to do that kind of stuff if you don't live in the United States. And he doesn't. He lives in Japan. So I think it's really easy from a distance to feel like you know what's going on with woke culture and social justice warriors or whatever, the generic boilerplate stuff is to get mad about if you're right wing. Um, but I just don't think you have a very good point of view of it if you're in Japan. To be honest, I mean, and I don't think you need to live in the country necessarily that you're commenting on in terms of like the cultural shifts, but I do think it really helps. And Japan is very, very disconnected from that kind of stuff. Like, even if you lived in Europe, you'd probably have a better idea of what's going on in the States and that, in regards to the like social issues. I feel like being in Japan, you don't really have a great sense of that. I mean, you could read the internet, and feel like you have a great sense of it, but I don't, I just, yeah. So I guess that's all I really have to say about it. Peppo Aleppo. Yeah, Japan is very homogenous. I mean, they're probably one of the most stealth racist societies there is, where people there act very friendly, they act very accepting. If you're a white person, American going to Japan, people are very friendly to you. You're treated almost like a novelty. People are very excited. Um, but at the same time, if you're a white person and you completely assimilate yourself into Japanese culture to the point of speaking perfect Japanese, you will never be accepted. You will never be. You will still always be seen as a novelty. I have a very good friend who actually runs a restaurant in Japan. He became like an expert chef. I think he moved there 15 years ago or so, and yeah, he he still feels that sort of isolation of being a foreigner in Japan. And that's not, I mean, there's much worse experiences people have there in terms of racism. Um, yeah, James Corbett also lives in Japan. Um, yeah, unfortunately, I think I have to run now, guys. I'm sorry for that. This was a very, very short episode of Main Politics. Probably the shortest one that I've done yet. Um, but I got to take my little babe Barbara to the vet, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining me again on Main Politics. There will be another episode tomorrow. It will be normal length. We'll go for an hour or longer, and yeah. So join me again tomorrow at Main Politics at this channel, A Very Heavy Agenda. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can find out exactly when these streams are coming. And also consider subscribing to my Patreon at patreon.com/Robbie Martin if you want access to all the hidden or locked episodes of MAME Politics. Thank you so much, guys. Happy Tuesday.